Today, it's my pleasure to talk with on my podcast defensive back, wide receiver from St Ignatius High School. Brandon's going to be a junior. He's in the 23 class, and he's going to be a very good player. And I'm excited for him. And Chuck Kyle at Ignatius is a really good friend of mine. I'm excited for him. Brandon, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Tell me, first of all, I'm an advocate of two sports for sure. You're playing 3 sports in high school right now and doing well. Okay. Now I will tell you, go ahead. You're a sophomore in the basketball team on a really good basketball team. So did you get playing time, or you work between JVs and varsity?
I worked between JV and varsity, but in the regular season for varsity, I got a little bit of playing time, but not so much in the playoffs.
Yeah, and your basketball team was really, really good. So
Go.
that's a compliment to you. And I know you run track, but you've been kind of injured. Did you get that injury, that hip injury, at the beginning of the season?
Yeah, it was like through basketball season, but I didn't want to stop playing basketball, so I just said I was going to work on it during track season, but it never got better. So.
But you're a sprinter on the track team, right?
Yep.
You're a field event guy. You're a long jumper?
Nope.
Really? Coach Kyle makes all you sprinters long jump, I thought. Okay, that's really good. But you're a sophomore. Right now, you've played varsity sports in 3 varsity sports at Ignatius. That's really a tribute to you. And yeah, I also heard, before we go to football, you're not too bad in the classroom. I mean, you do pretty well in school, right?
Mm-hmm. Have to.
That's good. Well, you do well. That's super. Okay, let's talk football. How are you doing as a football player? Defensive back or wide receiver? What's your favorite?
Defensive back is my favorite, but I have a lot of fun at wide receiver though.
Good. You play corner, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What's so good about football? Why football?
There's so much emotion, and it's like, I don't know how to put it, but when it all comes together, it's just like all one and so cohesive as a team. You just feel as like a oneness, and you just make a lot of lifelong friends. So that's like a really important to me when I play football. And that's why I started.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Making the friendships and the team element. I think that's true. Okay, what's the toughest thing about football?
This thing, staying strong in the mind, because sometimes, since I play defensive back, sometimes you're going to get burned, or sometimes you're going to drop an interception. So you got to stay strong up here.
Good. That's tough to do.
Mm-hmm.
And you're out there on an island.
Yeah.
I will tell you, as a coach, I'd always get mad at my free safety because all he has to do is keep everything in front of him. I mean, just keep going backwards, man. No, I'm joking. I know it's really a tough position to play. And anybody in the pros or in college now that you kind of watch, kind of a favorite or anything like that? You being in Cleveland, there's got to be a Browns guy that you're favorite with, or not?
Who Browns just drafted, Greg Newsom. I watched a couple highlights and film on him.
He's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
He's pretty good, and so is, and boy, his name slips me, and I've known him. I know him from down in your area. He's been hurt the last couple of years. From Nordonia.
Nordonia.
I can't think of his name. He's from everybody will shoot me. Okay, what about in your young life so far? Has there been anybody that you give a lot of credit to and that has really helped you along, keep you on the straight and narrow? Anybody like that?
Yeah, 2 people. My strength and conditioning coach and my mom, of course.
Your mom, of course, you said. Mm-hmm. Moms are always, aren't they?
Yep.
Okay, that's really good. Moms are huge, and I'm sure your mom is. strength and conditioning coach. Tell me who that is.
His name is Anthony Rubino. He runs the strength and conditioning program at Ignatius. He helped me get stronger, faster, and put on a lot more muscle than I had last year, and it's helping me reach my potential right now.
Good.
Since I started, my vertical was at like a 25 freshman year, and I tested it today because we have like vertical tests almost every week, and it's a 34. So that's good.
No, Brandon, come on now. I've done this for 34.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm just joking with you. That's huge. That's really, see, I'm a vertical jump and broad long jump guy because it shows me explosion. Yeah. Those are really important to me. Okay, let's talk about first silly question. If you could trade places with somebody for one day, who would it be?
I would say LeBron. His life is pretty amazing.
He's amazing, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Some ways I like him, in some ways I don't. But he's an amazing athlete. Mm-hmm. I met him just on hi, how you doing? And he doesn't know me. It was with up in Cleveland at a Glenville football game. Troy Smith was there, and Troy and I are good friends. And LeBron James might be. We didn't hang around. I just met him, but he might be one of the biggest guys I've ever seen. He's huge, and he can run. My goodness, he's getting age on him a little bit. Let's talk about corner. That's what you like to play. What are your strengths at corner, do you feel?
I would say my man press coverage and my hands.
What about press coverage? Why is that? Why do you like that?
Because I just know I have one priority, and it's just the guy in front of me, and I'm just trying to take away his strengths and make him his weaknesses.
Make him weaknesses, right? And then you have to come off sometimes and cut on run coverage off the corner too. But what do you think you have to work on?
What you just said, coming up and making the tackle. I have to come up and stop the run.
That's hard to do.
Yeah,
that's hard to do. There's some guys that can, some guys that can't. Usually, guys aren't good at both. I mean, there's one that they're. But I would tell you this: looking at your film now, you're 20 pounds lighter, I think, and all that other kind of stuff. But you have some things. I think you have natural abilities. If you watch the film. When you go in deep, you seem to know when the ball's coming. Even when you have your back to the ball, you turn or you watch, it just seems you have that knack to get to know when the ball's coming. And that's really, really good. Huge, in fact. And I think the other thing we talked about before we got on the podcast is that I think people have to play with emotion. And I thought I was raised, as a coach, and I'm 72 now, but to kind of just play. But now I think it's okay to show emotions when you cross your arms and say no good or incomplete, or I think it's okay to do that. I think it's good. And an old pro coach told me once, if defensive backs didn't believe in themselves and didn't have some swagger, they get killed because they gotta believe that they can do it. And if somebody thinks they can beat you, they'll kill you. But I don't mean, they'll burn you, I guess. Okay, let's talk about is there a top sports moment for you so far, Brandon? Is there a time that you right now in your first 2 or 3 years you'll remember something that you did?
I don't think I have one right now.
Okay. No, okay, that's good. And what's one thing you can't live without? There's something that you have to have. People have said different, guys like you've said different things, parents or football or just anything. What would anything that you can't live without?
Ooh, this is a hard question. I guess I could say my family. To be honest, I
Yeah,
can't live without them. Yeah.
especially if they support you so much.
Hmm.
And okay, now next question is kind of hard. What are words that you live by? Like for me, I've been able to do a lot of things. I'm driven. I'm humble. I have success, and I thrive on being the best I can be. What words do you live by? What are philosophies that you live by?
I'll work the person next to you. Work when no one's watching. One of my basketball coach Joyce, he said a quote when we're in our run for the playoffs. Um, Good things come to those who work. So I always try to live up to that.
Good, good. And that's very true, by the way. It's very true. Okay, well, let's go back then. What do you think you have to improve on as a corner, as a football player? What do you have to
Um,
improve on?
my zone coverage coming up to make a tackle on the run. I could always get faster and stronger, and I can always improve my hands and my feet.
Right. Zone coverage is tough, isn't it? I mean, it's tough because your natural instinct is to go with the guy.
Yeah.
It comes across your face and stuff. I mean, I think that's really hard. Like I said, I've never been a defensive back, but I think that's really hard. Okay, anything on the game days that you do, it's different? Any like little ritual you have? Anything like that? Anything you do different than other people?
I always wake up at 8 and meditate and try to get my mind ready for the game.
8 o'clock in the morning you start, huh?
Hmm.
That's good. Saturdays are tough to play, I think, but you're so used to it.
Yeah.
When I was a coach, we'd play like maybe one Saturday a season, and that'd drive me crazy because it's out. But you guys play a lot of Saturdays.
Yep.
And I know you travel to Cincinnati and all those places. Okay, we talked about trading places, and we talked about what talent is the second crazy question. What talent would you like to have that you don't and you never will have?
Playing the piano. I
It's
think
good. I bet you could. I bet you could. You look like the kind of guy that could learn to play the piano. Oh man, I bet you got some. Okay, that's good. That's good. I hope you get it. What advice would you give a freshman? Now, I think it's important that you're a role model. What advice would you give a freshman?
always have the intent to go the extra way and do more, even when no one's watching or you think you already did enough. Just do more.
And be patient, right?
Be
Because
patient.
everybody has gone. Well, most people have gone through that freshman year when it's tough.
Yeah.
Because even then worse is you're not getting to play, and it's tough. But you just have, because you don't know what's going to happen. Just like how much you've improved over the last year. Okay, that's really good. In 10 years, if you don't play in the league, in 10 years, what do you hope to be doing?
Oh, real estate. I'm really big on real estate and finance and business.
And learning about it now?
Hmm.
That's really smart, by the way. And I have friends in North Carolina. They say that's where you want to go right now because people from New York and Chicago are all flock in that area. Florida and everything else are moving there, but that's good. Okay, I really love doing these interviews. Okay, because I learned so much about you guys. Tell me two more questions. I got to give you my last one. What do you do when nobody's watching? And it can't be, what do you do? It can't be hanging with your friends. It can't be that. What do you do when nobody's watching you?
I really watch a lot of film on college defensive backs and NFL defensive backs.
Do you really?
Hmm.
You can do that probably easily now on TV with a lot, and with YouTube, I would assume has something, but
Yep.
even drills, I would guess, and stuff. That's good. That's good. You're a student of the game. Okay, let's talk recruiting just a little bit. It's just starting for you. Okay, and it surprises me. Surprises me sometimes. Ignatius, all they have such a good program and everything, and sometimes some of the bigger schools don't come in right away. It surprises me. And Coach Kyle and I have discussed that. So how's recruiting going early? Are you with the pandemic? Obviously, that's messed everything up. But how is it going for you?
It's going decent. A couple college coaches have followed me on Twitter. I had a couple talks with them, and they said they like my game and just keep it up and stuff like that. But I think it's going decent for the most part.
Good. How are you approaching the camp season?
I don't
Have you
know.
made plans on that yet?
I'm not sure if I'm going to any. I got invited to a showcase.
No, let's talk college camps.
College
I'm
camps.
not into showcases, all Ohio football camps, and all this other stuff. The
All right.
only one probably in another year you might go to is Under Armour, because they videotape everything, and I know for a fact college coaches watch it, and that's something. But I'm talking about college camps.
All right. I haven't thought about going to any college camps yet.
Okay. I would suggest you do. Not a whole lot, but you've got to get out there a little bit. And you've got to get exposure a little bit going into your junior year. And then you get the exposure this year, and then next year when it's money time or time, I think it'll be important. But you seem to have a lot of the right ideas so far, and you've been coached well. So I appreciate your help. You've done a good job. I appreciate the podcast. Okay.
I appreciate you having me.